Motion in your step.
Motivation in your heart.
Hello, and welcome to today's Motion and Motivation podcast.
We've put together a study guide for everyone. If you need it, you can grab it from the video description.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving deep into a book that's practically a modern classic, The Obstacle is the Way, by Ryan Holiday.
Oh yeah, a fascinating look at how to handle challenges and use them to come out stronger, using a lot of stoicism.
And for those familiar with Stoicism, you know there's some serious wisdom there. This book isn't just some philosophy lecture, though. It's about putting those ideas into action.
Definitely. It's about taking those ancient principles and applying them to our modern lives, careers, relationships, everything.
And speaking of action, Ryan Holiday, he's not just some philosopher, I guess. He's got real-world experience with obstacles.
Oh, he does. A media strategist working with big names, Tim Ferriss, Robert Greene, companies like Google and Twitter. He even wrote a book, Trust Me, I'm Lying, about media manipulation, talk about navigating obstacles.
So the guy knows how to handle pressure and succeed. But this book, The Obstacle is the Way, it's got that philosophical side, drawing on Stoicism, which might seem a little, intimidating to some.
Sure, but Holiday makes it really accessible. He takes Stoicism, which can feel abstract, and makes it practical and relatable.
And his fans agree. Robert Greene called it essential reading for any leader.
It did. Greene said it's for the bedside of every future and current leader. And Stephen Pressfield, another amazing author, compared it to a handbook for Jedi Knights. High praise.
Wow, that's quite the endorsement. What's the core message then? Why such enthusiasm?
At its heart, it argues we don't have to be victims of our circumstances. We can see obstacles as opportunities for growth, even advantage. That's where Stoicism comes in.
Okay, how so?
Stoics focused on what they could control, thoughts, reactions, and accepted the rest. Holiday takes that idea and shows how it applies to our everyday challenges.
And he uses real-life examples, right? Not just hypotheticals, but actual historical figures who live this philosophy.
Absolutely. He uses stories of people like John D. Rockefeller, Reuben Hurricane Carter, even Laura Ingalls Wilder, to show how this obstacle as opportunity mindset leads to resilience, even success.
I'm interested. Give me an example.
Take John D. Rockefeller. Holiday talks about how Rockefeller stayed calm during the Panic of 1857, one of the worst financial crises in American history. While everyone else panicked, he saw opportunity.
So while others were selling off, losing everything, he was observing, looking for openings.
Exactly. Rockefeller's self-discipline and emotional control let him make strategic decisions when it mattered most. And when things settled, guess who controlled almost the entire oil market?
Rockefeller, of course. Turning an obstacle into a launch pad. Perception is key here.
Absolutely fundamental. As Holiday writes, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition.
So, choosing to see the opportunity, even when it feels counterintuitive.
That's it. Actively shifting our perspective, a skill we can develop.
Like training our minds to see the world differently. So we can train our minds to see those opportunities, but it's not just about thinking the right thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Got to take action too.
You got it. Holiday doesn't just leave us with theories. He gives us a way to act, to move forward even with obstacles.
And that's where the will comes in.
Exactly. Seeing the opportunity isn't enough. We need willpower, resilience to keep going when things get tough.
And they always do. How do we build that inner strength? Any tips from Holiday?
He does. He tells the story of Ulysses S. Grant, the Civil War general. There's this anecdote. Grant's in a meeting, the ceiling caves in, glass flying everywhere, people panicking.
Sounds like chaos.
Total chaos. But Grant doesn't flinch, just calmly looks at the hole in the ceiling, then back at everyone like nothing happened. Nerves of steel, Holiday calls it.
Wow, staying cool under pressure for sure. How does that apply to, say, a career setback or a personal problem?
It's about cultivating that same inner strength, staying calm and focused when everything feels like it's falling apart. And that's where action comes in. We build resilience by moving forward, even when it's hard.
So not just enduring, but taking action, even small steps, to move through the obstacle.
Precisely. And Holiday uses Tommy John, the baseball pitcher, to show this. Mid-season, John gets a career-ending injury. Doctors say he's done.
Devastating.
Devastating, but not the end. John refuses to give up. He hears about this experimental surgery. Tiny chance of success, like 1%.
Talk about a long shot.
Right. But John goes for it. Grueling surgery and rehab, never gives up hope. And he comes back to pitch for 13 more seasons, wins 164 more games.
Incredible. Turns a career ender into one of the biggest comebacks in sports history.
A true testament to persistence, refusing to accept defeat. But it's also about strategy, what Holiday calls the flank attack.
Flank attack, what's that?
It means sometimes the best way to deal with an obstacle isn't head-on, but finding a creative, indirect approach. Like Tommy John with that risky surgery, he's outsmarting the obstacle, finding another way forward. Holiday also uses the example of the German Blitzkrieg in World War II.
Okay, how does the Blitzkrieg connect to a flank attack?
Well, at first, the Blitzkrieg was terrifyingly effective for the Germans. Aggressive, lightning fast, caught the Allies off guard, but Holiday points out that this aggression led to its downfall.
How so?
The Blitzkrieg needed overwhelming force and speed, but that made the German army vulnerable. As the war went on, the Allies adapted, exploited those vulnerabilities, launched successful counteroffensives, used the Blitzkrieg's momentum against it.
So what seemed like an unbeatable obstacle, an unstoppable force, actually created new opportunities for the Allies.
Exactly. The obstacle itself can reveal its weaknesses if we look for them. And sometimes winning means finding those alternative paths, those creative solutions that the obstacle itself presents.
It seems connected to the Stoic idea of amor fati, right? Loving one's fate.
You nailed it. Amor fati isn't passive acceptance, it's radical embrace. It's about seeing every challenge, every setback as fuel for growth, for transformation.
So instead of fighting what we can't control, we accept it, embrace it, use it to our advantage.
Precisely. That acceptance, that willingness to work with whatever life throws at us, that's what strengthens our will, our inner citadel.
This inner citadel, like a source of inner strength we can tap into during challenging.
That's a great way to put it. We build it, reinforce it over time through practice, facing obstacles, choosing our responses. It's not about being invincible, but unbreakable.
So we're building this inner citadel, this strength, by facing obstacles head on. But it's not just about, like, gutting it out, is it? There's a skill to it, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. Holiday emphasizes that building that will, that inner citadel, it's a practice. And like any practice, it takes awareness, discipline, even a little artistry.
It's like that quote from the book, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
A paradox, right? The obstacle holds the key to overcoming it.
Exactly. And Holiday uses Demosthenes, the Athenian orator, to illustrate this. He wasn't a natural speaker, actually. He had a stutter.
Right. Didn't he practice with, like, pebbles in his mouth?
He did. Demosthenes was relentless, practiced with pebbles, forcing himself to articulate clearly. He'd even recite speeches running uphill for his lungs, his projection. Total commitment. Wow, next level. But it worked, right? He became one of the most famous orators ever.
He did. And his story shows us that even the toughest obstacles can be overcome with enough persistence, creativity. Demosthenes didn't just beat his stutter, he turned it into a strength.
Makes you think, what weaknesses could we turn into strengths with that kind of dedication? Working with the obstacle, not against it.
Powerful question. Brings us back to focusing on the process, a big part of Stoicism that Holiday stresses.
Right, not just the destination, but the journey. Showing up every day, doing the work, even when it's tough.
Exactly. Holiday says how you do anything is how you do everything. That focus, that dedication to the present moment, to each step, that's living the obstacle is the way.
So taking those principles, those tools, Holiday gives us perception, action, willpower, and using them not just for big challenges, but every single day.
It's a lifelong practice. And as we face those obstacles, those unexpected turns, we remember, within each lies the potential for growth, for resilience, for becoming our best selves.
This has been a great deep dive. What stands out to you most from The Obstacle is the Way?
For me, the power of perspective. Like Holiday says, there is no good or bad without us, there is only perception. We choose how we respond to any situation. We're not victims. We make our own destiny.
I love that. A great reminder that even when things feel impossible, we have a choice. We can see the opportunity, find the strength to carry on, and come out of it changed for the better.
Beautifully said. A message we all need.
To our listeners, we leave you with this. What obstacle have you been avoiding? How can you use what we've talked about today to reframe it? Turn it into a chance for growth. Remember, the obstacle isn't in your way. It is the way.
Until next time, keep driving deep.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. That way you won't miss any of our updates. Also, if you think this video could help others, please share it with them. Thanks for watching and for your support.